Alright, we talked about how to use this envelopes tab, how to take money out. And you do that by clicking the envelope name, and the this enter transaction will pop up, and we can do a debit, and that takes money out. And we also briefly talked about adding money to the envelope by using the credit. Um, and you do that for individual transactions. So, let's say you make a deposit into your account, you'll use the credit feature. But this next thing I want to talk about is, the main process for adding money to your envelopes, and that's through your paycheck. So, when you think about it, you're spending money, that's taking money out of the envelopes. Your paycheck is adding money back into the envelopes. So what you need to do here is, on the envelopes tab, there's a show payday button, and this button will bring you to, if I click it, it'll open up the payday tab. And again, as a reminder, the yellow cells are what we need to be focusing on, and the blue we can't mess with. So you'll see that there's yellow here, and there's yellow off to the right here, and it says step 1 and step 2. And really, this process again is to fill those envelopes. So I'm going to click this button, step 1. This is how you start your payday. So let's say, let's go back first and say that my envelopes are completely updated. My envelopes matches my bank, so my difference is 0. So let's say I check my bank account, and my bank account says 12, let's say 350.07, because I think that's what the John's paycheck is. So I put that new bank account, or that new bank amount, in my total and bank box, so it says I have a difference, which I would expect that. And so here is where we would typically go through and take it out of the envelopes to make up this difference. But this is a payday, so I'd go to my online banking, and I'd see my company and my credit to my bank account. So you don't handle paydays through the envelopes tab, you handle it through this payday option. So I have a 350.07 difference. I'm going to click show payday again, so it's going to bring me back here. I'm going to click the payday button, and what this does is, another pop-up, and this is going to say who, so this is differentiating between that primary income and secondary income. So whatever you labeled it on the setup tab, this is where it'll show up here. And again, if you want to change the wording on this, you'll have to go back to the setup tab, but I'm going to click John. I'm going to leave the date the way it is, and this is the net pay amount. So this is the amount that's actually made it to your checking account. This is after taxes. How much money did your bank account increase by? So if this is John, let's say he made 350.07, which I happen to know that's exactly what the budget amount was for, but I'm going to click done. And so what this does is, it takes your budgeted amount, and we worked on the setup tab, and we worked on those three budget tabs, the overall budget, primary, and secondary. And so what this payday tab does is it goes out and it looks to see on those budget tabs how much you've been what did you identify as your budget? How did you decide in that budget to break up your paycheck? And it did it all here for me. Because of rounding, sometimes it comes up with a little bit of a difference. So what this is saying is my payday amount was 350.07. That's what I put in. We budget for 350.07, so there's no surplus or deficit. Everything that we were budgeting for, the payday covered. And right now, if you add up all of this actual column, it comes out to 350.08. So this total balance, similarly in other tabs, we wanted to make the difference equal 0. We're also going to want to do that for this total balance. This has got to equal 0. So here it's saying it's a penny. You're a penny short. So I'll want to go through here and pick an envelope to take a penny out of. So let's go to groceries and just take out a penny. I'm going to make this 37 instead of 38. Click OK, and now my total balance is 0. You may be kind of wondering what's going on here. I'm gonna just keep going, and hopefully you'll see the process of what it's trying to do. So once I've got my total balance to 0, my next step is to click the Move It button, and what it's going to do is going to take all of this money, which is essentially your entire paycheck, and you've divided it out into into the envelopes that it needs to be broken out into. And the Move It button will take all of this money and it'll add it to your envelopes. So notice how we have a lot of 20s in here. When I click Move It, most of those are going to get added, $9.62. So let me click the Move It button, and you get this message: your payday has been successfully moved. Click OK, and again, like I said, $9.62 got added to most of those envelopes. And that is how money gets added into those envelopes. So, and you'll also notice that the total envelopes matches the total in bank. Now, that's not always the case where your budgeted amount equals your payday amount. Let me click payday again. Let's say instead of $350 or $350.07, let's say John got paid. Let's say he was kind of short that month and only made $320. I'm gonna click done. So here, we budgeted for $350 and we only made $320, so there's a deficit of $30. The tithe is going to account for that, because we, in the setup tab, selected 10%. So it's, essentially we have a balance of negative $27.07. This is saying, we budgeted and we were expecting $350, but we only made $320, so we're $27 short. So this payday process is dividing up your paycheck between your envelopes and then moving it to the envelope once you've divided it out. So in this example, we got to get this equal to 0, so we're $27 short. So here's, you go through and have to determine, how do we make up that $27? Maybe we don't do anything for we don't add anything to vacation, and let's say we don't add anything to gifts and birthdays. So I'm just going to make all this 0. Let's say we don't add anything to close this month. So as you can see, as I keep changing these, that total balance keeps going down. And let's say this other $1.29, let's just take that out of groceries. So I'm going to do an equals, move over and do minus 129, and so my total balance is 0, so I can click the Move It, and that will add all of that amount to those envelopes. And successful. Click OK, and you notice that the Payday tab hides when you do that, so you have to use the Show Payday. And I'll want to update my bank account information by whatever my what is my current balance, and hopefully it's the $12,670.07, so that makes that 0. But that's how you use the Payday option. And I'm going to do a summary and kind of a recap of how you of the total process here in the next video.